For the last couple of weeks, I've been dropping little hints and clues about some changes that are coming to the Strategic Living podcast, as well as brianholmes.com and our work at Strategic Influencers. And today on the program, what I want to do is kind of peel back the curtain and let you see inside the company and inside my head. That might be scary, and let you kind of get a glimpse of what we're about to do and how it's going to impact you and those that you love. I can't wait to talk to you about this today. We're talking about what's next for the Strategic Living podcast. Well, the last couple of weeks, I've talked about change quite a bit. We've talked about, are you stable or are you stagnant? I've talked a little bit about what's been happening in my life and in my world the last several months, and all of the changes swirling around us, and how that has led me to make some decisions about pivoting a little bit with regards to the work that I do here on this podcast and really on our online platform altogether. And so I want to talk to you about that a little bit today and share with you what I see. At my very core, I am a trainer, I'm a teacher, I'm a person who loves to pour into the lives of other people. And so more and more, I'm gearing our business and our work model toward that. There are some really cool changes coming to brianholmes.com, to our company, Strategic Influencers. This year already, in 2018, we've had 2 very successful, very potent workshops. Why? I'm a trainer. I love to teach. I love the live environment, and we're going to be doing more and more of that this year, next year, and beyond as a part of the overall matrix of what we're offering to our community. Most of you know that my background is that of a trainer, a teacher, and of course a pastor. And 25 years of my life has been spent in front of people, in classrooms, in boardrooms, in training rooms, online seminars, and so on. And that's where I thrive. It's where I live. It's where God has uniquely given me the ability to touch in a really special way. And so with that being said, teaching is what I do. There's nothing, and I mean there is nothing, that energizes me more than one-on-one with a person in a coaching environment, or in a room with a group of people, teaching and training them a particular skill or idea or concept that will grow them and build their influence. I love doing seminars and webinars and those types of things, online coaching. There's nothing that juices me more than coming alongside of a person just like you and helping to grow your life to that next level. As we enter into the 4th quarter next week of 2018, that is, here's some of the things we're going to be looking at very closely. I want to gear my work around what I do best. That's going to apply to the podcast. It's going to apply to the company overall, our for-profit company, Strategic Influencers. It's going to apply to Brian Holmes Ministries, the things that I do on the nonprofit side. It's going to apply to our workshops, our seminars, our coaching groups that we're going to be launching. It's going to also apply to some changes we're going to be doing to our VIP coaching programs, which is more of our one-on-one work and small group work that we do. So all of this is happening, and I want to just kind of peel it back now and let you see some of what we're thinking. Let's talk about the podcast first. I've already announced to you a couple of weeks ago, and by now you know, the podcast has changed release dates each week. For years, it's been on Thursdays. Actually, I think we started out on Fridays and then Thursdays, and now it's going to be moving to the middle of the week, right? We're going to sandwich it right in the middle of your week to encourage you, to uplift you, and to give you something to look forward to as you go about your weeks. You probably figured out by now that we're offering this podcast going forward in both video and audio. Now, why am I doing that? Well, different people consume content different ways. Different people learn in various modalities more effectively. In other words, some people are auditory. Some people want to see it and watch it. Some people want to read it and touch it by reading it. So I want to take the content we're doing and place the exact same content in as many formats or modalities as we can, so that you have every opportunity to learn, to grow, and to leverage the training that we're putting out there on a week-to-week basis. You may have noticed that we have eliminated our Monday Mastery segments. Now, I'm catching flack already. I'm already getting feedback. People are like, what happened to Monday Mastery? And I love that segment. It's always been a staple with what we do. But given this new format of the podcast where we're doing both video and audio, and given some of the things I'm going to share with you in just a moment about the format of these programs going forward, I've decided to consolidate all of our training and all of our weekly offerings on video and audio into one episode. I know in my heart it's going to be more effective for you, the learner, the listener, the student as well. Beginning next week, we're going to be publishing what I will call series-based training via the Strategic Living Podcast. Now, over the 4 years, we've done some back-to-back episodes that revolved around the same topic. I would call those mini-series or accidental series. What I'm talking about doing now going forward is this. I want to choose a topic, and I want feedback from you on what do you want to be trained on, what do you need the most. We're going to be asking our audience to tell us, I'd love to hear more about this. And we're going to take a topic, and we're going to unpack that for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it takes. And we're going to do that training as though it were a seminar. We're going to unpack it line upon line, chapter by chapter, in a very consistent, sequential way so that you're able to assimilate the information, listen to it periodically, week to week, and then build line upon line so you're becoming a master. You're really mastering the topic and being able to assimilate it into your day-to-day life. Does that make sense? So I want to do it in a more training-oriented way, which will cause us to need to not do necessarily one-offs anymore. For years, we've just taken a different topic every week and thrown 20, 30 minutes at it, and we've done justice. It's been good. But I want to be the trainer. I want to be the coach. I want to be the teacher, and I want to help walk you through these things with a little more depth. That's where we're going with the podcast in the future. As a rule, as I said, we'll choose a topic and spend several weeks on that topic. How many weeks will be determined by really how broad the topic or how deep we need to go. I really believe this is going to lend itself to a more effective learning opportunity for you, and that's my goal. Here are some possible topics, all right, that we're going to cover. And these are just possible topics. They're on my radar based on a lot of feedback we've gotten over the years, but these are things we could go deeper in. Everything that I do at brianholmes.com and with our companies revolves around the 4 cornerstones for strategic living. You know, those are personal healing, personal discovery, personal development, and personal deployment. And so we're going to begin with that next week. We're going to do a series, probably 5 weeks or so, on the 4 cornerstones for strategic living. We're going to unpack those, go deep on those, and help you to really understand why you need that framework to grow your life, grow your leadership, and grow your impact. But other topics we might cover. I want to talk about the relationship factor. When I've done episodes on relationships and their impact and their influence in our lives, I've gotten more feedback on those than anything else we've done. And so I want to talk about relationships. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So relationships really do matter. So we're going to dive deeper on that probably. You know that I talk a great deal about transition, and I have an entire teaching on that. We may dive into that. Strategic influence. How do we become agents of cultural transformation? How do we be salt and light? How do we actually make a difference in the places where we are working and living day to day? Whatever those spheres of influence are, how can we have strategic influence in the marketplace, in the classroom, in government, all these places? That is a deep passion of mine, and I want to go deeper on that with you as well. We will be talking about ministry in the marketplace, of course. Identity. Everything in life is rooted in your identity. Who you believe you are, what you believe about yourself. I'm sure we'll talk about that. We'll talk about overcoming limiting beliefs, how beliefs are formed, those types of things. I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to get myself in trouble, but I'm going to talk about the prosperity mindset versus the poverty mindset. Because I'm telling you, many of you, and I'm getting mad here now, many of you struggle with a poverty mindset and you don't even know it. And we're going to come after that because you deserve to step into the fullness of what you are and who you are and what's available to you. We'll talk about unique ability. We'll talk about your unique gifts and how you can most effectively impact your world. It's endless. But in addition to the things that I just mentioned, I want you to comment on these episodes. I want you to send us emails. support@brianholmes.com. support@brianholmes.com is the email address. Send me feedback. Let me know, Brian, I'd like to hear you talk about this. And we'll do our very best to work those things in. My desire is that this podcast, this video program, becomes the #1 sought-after resource online for transforming minds, developing leaders, and raising up incredible influencers in our culture today. I want this program to be that level of a resource for as many people as we can reach. And I would appreciate you helping us spread the word. Next week, we're going to dive into our very first series. We're going to lay the foundation by talking about the 4 cornerstones for strategic living. I invite you to be a part of this. I invite you to tell others about it. And I can't wait to see you in my classroom.